Find it typical to be so sideways. Oh. You're telling me. Oh, God. You're fucking always looking for the best setup for recording. And it's oh, hell. I mean, come on. Why am I... Well, I lifted... I was doing that. I'm not tired from bending around the wrong fucking way. He's fucking... You hear yourself making these groans and everything. I mean, come on. There's a nice egg truck. Wow, amazing. It's on the hoof. Do I have to start this over? I thought about it for a good long while. It seemed like the best thing to do. Can I start this over again? I was thinking about it for a while, and I figured the predicament of my life situation would be opportune for me to come up with intimate conversations and advice, good advice. So, it's a good start, I think. You're gonna be over this way. Why would you be over the other way? Can't you be there? Is it too much of an issue? Too much of an issue being over that way? All right. One kind of consistency. I'm starting to know some consistencies in life, and that puts you on a good path on this planet when you start finding things like consistencies. Like I know this one street and these stray dogs. They like to rouse up other dogs to jump out windows, for ground level windows. So they do that, right? And you got a street full of a bunch of dirty old dogs and they're running around. So one of these dogs just shits. The others, they're like, they get a good whiff of it, and being beasts, critterly dog creatures, are like, oh yeah, this one, we're gonna see what he's doing. He might be up to something good, This might, arouse some sort of blessing in a life, So then a second dog shits, and you go about a few weeks beyond that, and you have a bunch of mangy, nasty dogs, much like my neighbor's dogs. They rouse all these other dogs that have houses. They rouse them right out of the windows, and there's a whole pack of dogs, and they go around and they leave all in the same spot all the time. They have shit mountain. Nobody even cares. But the point is that is something, it's a world-changing thing when you begin to notice consistencies in life, and you find one person being able to build up a consistency, and many will want to follow suit, Now where that leads, I would like to just leave for you to think about. I'd like to assist you by putting your brain to work. one of the things I would really like to do is to give you the opportunity to put your brain in work for you. No, I know it's me saying something like that. That's like a it's like a subscription service or something, isn't it? So I had a phone call come to me at one point. I had a question about a certain something or other. I had a question. I got a phone call back. None of my sentences, nobody could even understand any of the sentences or what concepts I was meaning to ask about. So I hung the phone up. And I got 4 phone calls back from the same place. One person twice and 2 other people. So 3 people. They wouldn't leave me alone. And I had already figured out the thing I asked about in the first place anyhow. I just thought it might have been nice to talk to somebody for once in a while. All those phone calls I got bombarded me. I was a form and a function of consistency. So I'd like you to put your brain, let it dance around a little. Let your brain dance inside your head. I want you to be able to feel it hitting all the walls. And put your brain to work for you. And let's think about this. It's an important, valuable lesson of consistency. That's the second series study package right there we've gotten to already. So we're going through this course rather quickly. We might need to slow it down a little bit. We need to slow it down a little so that this course we have can seem more complicated than it really is. And we could be doing some brain shaking, and they don't say empty your pockets anymore because all currency is flamboyantly digital, isn't it? Now, what is this? Might I ask you, have you seen this? Have you seen? I want you to look at it up close. See if you recognize it. See if you recognize it. Now you call this water. We've got one of these here. But most importantly, I want you to remember if you've seen that before. Does it remind you of somebody that you once knew? Now, my idea of a nice treat is that when I don't want to wait around for a long time, I have this thing called a piece of a pot pie on my knuckle. But that's not all. Not only did I have a piece of a pot pie on my knuckle, but this instant coffee is far too hot for me to drink or to sip. Ah, look what we've got here. Now I'm going to set that down there. One thing you might want to know, and I'll share this with you, you don't need to know it. There's a lot of things I tell you don't need to know. In fact, some of the things I don't think you should probably tell anybody else about or remember at all. So we'll go back to that brain jarring around in your head, hitting all the walls and everything. You'll remember or you won't remember, right? If you choose to not remember, make sure you don't remember. Or it will have to be a manual non-remembrance. Non-remembered into you, so manually non-remember it. So anyway, there's actually a coffee kind of cup ring right there already, but it's not from this cup, nor will it be. Now I just took that water and I poured it into that too hot to drink instant coffee. I want to pick it up now. Now my own brain is actually dancing within the interior of my head right now, but I've controlled it over time because I've taken this course many times, and I've gone to the level where I could not have to have it visibly shaking, gyrating in strange gelatin on a conveyor belt, going down a hill, hitting a boulder, sort of way. So that's one of the things to be thankful for today, because it is indeed a Thursday. you know, so. Yeah, that's about the sip you want. So anyway, yeah, I had this instant coffee I make because you don't want to wait for, you got to rinse your coffee maker out with vinegar every once in a while. That takes a very long time to do, you know. I mean, some water has sediments in it. Would you rather have city water without sediments, or would you rather have well water with a little bit of sediments? And some of the stuff that you can drink within the well water is actually pretty good for you, but it will stuff up a coffee maker pretty well and good. It's very good at that. On the top of the resume for water types, actually, for the intended purposes of clogging up coffee filters. But I mix this water into here while this pot pie pools down here. This pot pie is cooling up pretty good. Now, remember this pot pie. You had people you hadn't seen in a while. And I got this instant coffee. I made it up. But by the time it gets cool, it's almost like I could have made up a pot of coffee itself. Just think about that. But it tastes good. What in the word? This actually tastes good. Now, some people like to drink coffee like they're the most boring people in the universe. They want their coffee to hang around for more than like 18 minutes at a time. I don't understand these kind of people, I tell you. Ooh, it's burning in my stomach. Oh, it's burning in my chest. That's how I know it's good. That's a fine situation. This is the best part of this situation here is I made sure there's this much amount left here. That's going to make all the difference. Not only to me, it's going to affect the ozone layer in a most beneficial way. We won't have to block out the sun after all, huh? Isn't that nice? We're not going to have to block out the sun today because of this. Very few people know. And I'm not asking for thanks about it, but a little bit of some courtesy and respect does go a long way. So I could just ignore this now, and we'd have to be sweltering sweat bullets, some sweat on the guffaw, rather estranged. Well, it actually got hotter. I didn't expect that to happen. Now, we're not going to continue this intimate conversation anymore once I start eating the pot pie. But I just want you to kind of recall, who haven't you seen? Who haven't you seen? And what's going on with this here? Now, that's a function of you getting your own mind to work for yourself when you contemplate on a question like that. And we've gone through, finally, the third passage here. Your initiation into the mystery school is delving in a process where you're crystallizing your third eye right now. So maybe put a pair of sunglasses on. Don't poke your eye out.